It was through the church.
So you were still
Be
going to church even though you separated with this guy?
No, right. I started going to church after, me and my son's father separated and left broke up. Um, I started going to church after my son was born. So, he was not in my life or my son's life quite some time before I even started going.
Then go ahead.
And then, once I had my son, his grandmother, came to me and was like, "Look, you're living here. I go to church. We go what they call soul winning on Saturdays, where they literally did like the Mormons, where they would knock on the doors and invite people out to church and things like this." And she was like, "How does that look upon me if you're living under my roof and you're not even attending church one time out of a week? So I think you need to start at least attending one time out of a week. Pick a day, pick a night, whatever, and let me know when that's going to be." So I believe it was Sunday night that I chose. And then eventually I felt like the right thing to do is to, start going more because of the fact that I didn't want my son being raised in a fast paced world. I wanted him to grow up in church. Because I grew up in church. I'm a PK kid. My mom was an ordained minister. So I know the fundamentals. I know how imperative being in church, being raised is. And so with that, I made the decision to go ahead and be a member of the church. And I was going every day, every night, every time the doors was open, which was almost every day.
I think it's kind of funny in a way. Your mom is an ordained minister.
Yes, she was.
You was rebellious. You know that
I
that doesn't add up. You know that, right?
I was just knew that, because she put me in this boarding school that I just I couldn't I just couldn't go back to that. She didn't allow me to, defend myself, take up for myself, to explain. She just assumed, because of what my niece was saying, "Oh, you're having relations with, all of these guys." And I wasn't even doing anything like that, at that point. It really bothered me.
Okay, so now you're still with his in-laws. You're going to church. How did the arranged marriage, how did this new guy come into the picture, and how did marriage become the center focal point? Because you wasn't ready to go down that road, but you did it anyway.
No, I wasn't.